Special when it's quiet too, but when this place is bumping and packed, it's a whole different other world and vibe, and I feel incredibly, if I can say it, not from an arrogant side, incredibly proud. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for this arena full of people that loved and supported me, so it's a pretty cool, proud feeling. When I was 16, start playing at 16. And then for those that know a bit of my story, then life was flipped upside down, hit behind actually that net there. I then moved back with the team once I started to get a little bit of my energy back, and was supported through and through for those 2 years. And then was lucky enough to get back to playing for my last 3 years. Crazy story we don't have time to get through, but was lucky enough to get back to playing. Was lucky enough to be the captain in my final season, which was an incredible honor. At that point was speaking in a lot of schools across Ontario about my story. I was actually lucky enough to win the Humanitarian of the Year as well with the CHL, which was just, that was more important to me than any part of hockey at that point. My relationship with the game had changed, and it was much healthier than I think it was at the start. And so I got everything out of the game that I could, and it was amazing what I got out of it. So it was time to move on to something new that I know what I was going to jump into, and know I was going to be in counseling and psychotherapy and loving every second of it. I had no idea. Good energy, good energy. We so easily forget underneath the 50 points that we want to have, et cetera, there's a human being that we all have needs. There's no biological DNA hack around it, at least not yet. And we all require tools and skills to be the person we want to be. I approach this, what we use as mental health, as performance-based conversations. Because if we're performing better in all those areas, we're more likely to be the person we want to be and feel the way we want to feel, and that's what combats the anxiety and depression and other negative effects that are so common in life.
I think I'm just going to take away that he's an outlet and he's there. You know, he's played hockey, he understands the game, he understands Kitchener. So, you know, him being there and open for, you know, having that alumni connection is huge.
It's just really good to know that he's there for us and for people who may be struggling around the OHL, and you know, for anyone who has access to his app is really powerful, and it's really important.
Actually, as soon as the conversation really strengthened between the OHL, Heroic Minds, and Winmar, we were beginning conversations with the Owen Sound Attack, the Guelph Storm, and then of course, yes, here in Kitchener, I was an alumni mentor. So I was in the room multiple times through the year, engaging with the players, hanging out in the lounge, so that again, they knew I wasn't involved enough with the team that I'm a coach and I have any decision-making power, but enough that, hey, here's a peer, he's an alumni, he's been through similar experiences to us. Most people don't want to have these conversations. Most people don't want to be vulnerable, even every campaign's trying to convince us to do that. We don't, and that's okay. So what I've done is create this platform where it's basically a Spotify of performance conversations, or what in the academic world would be called psychoeducation. So we're bringing together insight from sports psychologists, psychiatrists, psychotherapists, counselors. How do we make these resources accessible in such a way that we're removing the greatest barriers to accessing these ideas? And you can pull it out and listen to these resources whenever you want. So trying to, and I think now moving into space where we're seeing we're effectively doing so, is overcoming a lot of those barriers to make this accessible to a lot of different groups.
What he's been through, and I think as an athlete, like, we all go through depressions, you know, you have a bad game, you get taken off this, taken off that. So I think just, you know, him being an outlet and his app, Heroic Minds, just is really huge for us.
See people like Ben, you know, he's doing a great thing here, and it's heading in the right direction, but obviously if there was more people like that doing what he's doing, then it would be in a much better place.